Hi, I'm Josephine. Welcome back to my vlog. Today I'm going to talk about the benefits of ecotherapy, in particular, interacting with horses. I know that helping people find their way back to their soulful, authentic selves can be greatly enhanced by taking them out into the natural world. This process is known as ecotherapy, and there are a variety of ways in which the therapy is offered. Working with or just being with animals, interacting with horses, and I'm going to be talking about that matter in much greater detail in a minute. Working in gardens, allotments, community farms, outdoor crafts, outdoor adventuring, wilderness work, etc. Such programs are usually underpinned with good psychological support. These are the type of group activities I've alluded to in my previous blogs that are so worthwhile considering, and they operate in most areas of the UK and can be researched and sought out over the internet. They are wonderful for all manner of problems we may face, from depression, post-traumatic stress disorder, lack of self-esteem, lack of confidence, loneliness, bereavement. Why is ecotherapy so effective? It's because what reflects back to us when we're in the natural environment is a beauty. That beauty can touch something of deep beauty within us that we may have been forced to lose touch with in this sometimes frantic technological world we all have to live in, with little time for inner reflection, contemplation and peace. Engagement within the natural world can have a profound grounding effect, building a sense of connectedness which we all crave for on a deep level. Many people today by necessity live very sterile, material lives in urban environments where contact with the natural world is extremely limited. And at a deep level, as human beings, we need to feel this connection. Deep within our genetic ancestry, at the level of the collective unconscious, which I've spoken about in previous vlogs, we were tribal and shamanic in our cultures, and our connection to the natural world was paramount for our day-to-day survival, and it is at a soulful level still very important to us. The natural world can lend succour to our troubled minds and spirits, our search for inner peace and a sense of connectedness. Now I'm going to talk about why I turn to horses to help my counselling clients engage once again with their authentic, soulful selves. I'm going to give you a quote from Winston Churchill. He said, "There is something about the outside of a horse that is good for the inside of a man." Although I've now retired from one-to-one work with clients and serve my small herd of horses, I used to practice in a very soulful approach to equine-assisted psychotherapy. For the past 50 years, I've shared my life with horses. They were part of my family tribe. Horses deserve our utmost respect, for horses are in touch with profound abilities that we humans in most cases have long forgotten are still available to us. That is our sixth sense. And it is this often dormant ability that horses seek to put us in touch with again, and it is their gift to humanity in these troubled times. It is by turning back to the natural world that we can learn to live within the same energetic flow, to get in touch with and to trust our intuition, to feel our energetic responses within, and to make the right choices and responses in our relationship with ourselves and others. There are basically two approaches in which horses are engaged with in a psychologically therapeutic context. Equine-assisted psychotherapy, which was the modality I work within, albeit my approach was very transpersonal, a soulful body-mind-spirit approach. This approach has a possibility of taking clients to the depths of their psyche and souls. There's also equine-assisted or facilitated learning. The latter allows the client to work at a less deep level of personal investigation and understanding, but still so worthwhile engaging with. Contact with these big, intuitive creatures is so calming, enlightening, grounding, and confidence building. In-depth knowledge of horses and their psychology is imperative for the therapist to have in order to work effectively in these fields. There are, of course, many other ways in which children and adults can engage with horses and do engage with them, and those encourage a number of personal and emotional skills. I read a quote in an article last year by a very respected horseman, Buck Brannaman. He said, "Your horse is the mirror of your soul, and sometimes you may not like what you see, and sometimes you will." Equine-assisted psychotherapy engages the ability of the horse to mirror unspoken human behaviour patterns. The horses are picking up on body language in the human being. They can also pick up on our emotions, fear, anger, etc. If these particular emotions are disowned by the human, they can make a horse feel very unsafe. Own sadness will often draw the horses to us. What a human gives off in body language is often unrecognised within themselves and does not match what's going on in their heads. Likewise, humans will try to disguise their emotions, but you can't hide your emotions from a horse. A horse will relate and respond well with a human and interact when asked to move in certain directions when the body and mind are working in unison within the human, i.e., conscious and unconscious minds in agreement. Authenticity on the part of the human allows the horse to feel safe. Without this safety, the horse's flight or fight mechanism will engage. The horse will choose to move away. For this reason, I used to like to work my horses at liberty on a big field in the early stages of a client's work with them. This choice of the horse not to want to be with a person demonstrates in the most gentle and visual way incongruencies in the person's relationship within themselves. This fact being visually reflected by a horse as opposed to being told by a therapist has the power to transform. It is moving on a deep emotional level and also humbling and beautiful and enlightening and transformational. To have this reflected by a horse is just something else. It can be very moving. It can be very moving to witness for both client and therapist. By then going on then to experiment and change internal emotional and energetic body responses so that they match when interacting with horses, so that they choose to engage at close range and then follow our direction, allows us to gain understanding of ourselves and how our relationship with ourselves and others may become more honest and authentic. What is it about horses that makes them so capable of this work and produce results so swiftly and profoundly? The answer is found in their high sensitivity. Horses have to live in the wild, very much in the moment for their daily survival. They have a powerful flight or fight survival mechanism, and they are totally honest, unlike us humans. Their senses are finely tuned to their environment and the other herd members. If one horse gives off an internal warning of danger, the other horses in the group will pick it up internally and react collectively. The herd is safer together than separate. For me, horses are telepathic. You cannot lie to a horse, and so ultimately you cannot lie to yourself. Horses can help us become authentic, remembering who we really are beyond our survival masks and our patterns. Horses are comfortable connecting with humanity upon a soulful and honest level. It is also very moving to witness a horse drawing close to someone owning very uncomfortable emotions and feelings. Horses have the capability of immense empathy. Owning emotions is the key word, for when we do that, our body energy is in unison with our emotion and the horse feels safe. We cannot disguise our emotions as humans. We may attempt to with our minds, but our body language tells a different story. Horses and many other animals can see beneath our mask, and that is the gift the animals bring to us, reflecting our true selves back to ourselves and offering us the opportunity to consider changing ourselves for the better. We as humans do actually have the same gift, although we very often misinterpret it. When you meet, say, a stranger, or even someone you know, and you feel comfortable in their presence, it can often be a case of what you get is what you see, an authentic person. How often do you feel uncomfortable yourself when in the presence of a stranger, or even with someone you know? If you were not uncomfortable before you came into contact with them, and suddenly, with close contact, you feel an uncomfortableness in your solar plexus area, It may well be the incongruence within them that you are sensing. Body language is not matching the mental and internal intent. Accept this sensation as your own sophisticated guidance system and make the necessary allowances to keep yourself safe in their company. It is your sixth sense in operation. I would add that what I've just spoken about in relating is just one possible aspect that can manifest for our attention when interacting therapeutically with horses. They are brilliant for people seeking help with abuse, addiction, post-traumatic stress disorder, bereavement, to name but a few. There are equine-assisted psychotherapy and equine-assisted learning programs offered all around the world these days, and they can be researched on the internet. There are also many charities here in the UK offering this service. As always, I would urge everyone to engage in meditation and mindfulness to help rekindle the deep memory of who you really are at a subconscious and conscious level, a soul experiencing life on this often challenging planet. Try to get out into nature as often as you possibly can, especially if you live in an extremely urban environment. I'm going to say goodbye for now, but I'll be back again.